All right, Shalom. Shalom, giving all praises, all glory, all honors unto Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushua, by Hashem Microc-Hip. Double honors to the apostles, elder bishops of Great Millstone, GMS, Israelites that rule well. Peace and blessings to the 144,000, the rest of the hopeful elect out there, the brothers and sisters that believe in this truth. This is your brother, the priest, Tazawan from GMS Atlanta, back with another edifying video. And I was just doing some research, looking up some things. As you can see here, this is pertaining to the microchip implant, okay? Which there is a market out there in the world for this technology, okay? Now, those of you that are in the know, we here at GMS, we teach that according to Bible prophecy, the mark of the beast found in Revelation 13, verse 16. The mark is the biometric implant technology, also known as the microchip. The microchip, and it is lucrative. Okay. Listen, the elites of this world, they're not just going to introduce the mark because it's just a means to an end, you know, for their New World agenda. No, it's also a lucrative business investment. Okay, this is why you see companies like Neuralink. You have billionaires like Elon Musk, Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, which they have an implant, brain implant that they've invested in, which is known as Synchron. All right, among other countries that are developing brain implants, like China as well. All right, there's money to be made. Okay, I'm gonna say that again. There is big money to be made with the microchip implants. Okay, as we say, the Microc-Hip, which goes under the skin. All right. So let me go to the prophecy. Let me just read this. And we all know this prophecy. We all know this scripture. So let's read it. Revelation chapter 13, verse 16. It says, "And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond," so that's all different nations, all different peoples, "to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads." Once again, this is speaking about technology like the Neuralink, the Synchron, and other brain-computer interfaces. And then you have in Sweden multiple people, thousands of people, tens of thousands of people that have the implant in their hands. All right, verse 17, "And that no man might buy or sell." So this is definitely having to do with payments and transactions. Okay, buying and selling, marketing. Okay, commerce. "And that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name." So there's money to be made. All right, whenever you're exchanging money from one hand to another, or from one entity to another, somebody is gaining some kind of profit behind it. Okay, now dealing with the mark, which is a physical thing, let's get that word mark in the Greek. All right, when you go into these languages in the Bible, you got the Hebrew, the Greek, the Syriac Hebrew, or the Aramaic. You have the Latin as well. So let's get this word from Mark in the Greek. And you see the word here, when you click on it, it's G5480, which is the Hebrew word charagma. Charagma. Now the IUIC, they teach that the mark here is speaking about sin. The ISUPK, they say that the mark is performing the actions of the belief in the system, what you believe in your forehead, and you perform the action, trusting in the system. But when you read the actual context of the word in the Greek here for mark, right, it is not talking about anything that has to do with any belief, any action, or sin. It is literally talking about something physical that is imprinted upon the body. As you can see here, it says stamp, an imprinted mark of the mark stamped on the forehead or the right hand as the badge of the followers of the Antichrist. Now, when you put a badge, for example, when you work at, let's say you work at a McDonald's or any fast food, maybe, Burger King, they give you a badge, right, and a uniform as an identifier of you working for that business, right? That's a physical badge. It's not a spiritual badge. It's not an idea or an ideology. It's not a philosophy or a belief. No, you have to have a badge that identifies you separately from those that don't work at that business. Okay? It says the mark branded upon horses. If you work in with cattle, or you have farmland, right, or horses, okay, the ranchers would have a physical branding imprinted upon usually the hind haunches, right, the hind legs, or the back of the horse. Okay, that's a physical thing. All right, another thing carved, sculpture, graven work of idolatrous images. You have to physically, okay, carve or engrave the marking in whatever material you're working with to create those idolatrous images, whether it be wood, gold, other metals, stone. It's something that is physically imprinted. So that's what we're seeing here in the context of the mark, right, when it's talking about the beast. All right, it's not talking about anything spiritual. This is a physical thing that will be done to the human body, which is what? Implanted and imprinted, right, in the skin. All right, it says to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. That's why it's known as an implant. Okay, to put in, to plant in. So this is how we know that we are 100% correct when we're dealing with the prophecy of the mark here at GMS. We know what we're talking about. We're not just going off of our emotions and how we feel and what we think. No, we're giving you the correct context and proper understanding of the Holy Bible through the Holy Spirit. Now, is there any implantable technology that you can put in your right hand or your forehead, and can you use it to buy and sell? Yes, that's what we're talking about here with the global human microchip implant market. There is money to be made. And who's making the money? The international bankers. When you're dealing with banking, you control the influx, the outflow of money, whether it be individuals, whether it be countries and nations. We're talking about those that have power over the world supply of money through these different agencies. So let's get that understood. Now, let's read this here. All right? And believe you me, the elite of Esau would not be dealing with this technology on a major scale if they were not profiting from it, if it wasn't something that they could gain from. Remember, this man is greedy. Okay? We're dealing with these devils that have been for years become trillionaires by deceiving and destroying around the planet Earth. They don't care about you or me. All they care about is their greed and what they can gain. So there's definitely something to gain from putting an implant, a Microc-Hip, in people around the world. So let's read this now. It says the global human microchip implant market is projected to grow from approximately 1.9 billion in 2025 to between 2.56 billion and 3.5 billion by 2032 and 2033. So imagine by 2050 what the estimated growth would be. That's billions of dollars. Okay? With a compound annual growth rate, this is real statistics here, all right, of around 7% to 10.2%. The growth is driven by technological advancements. That's these miracles of the beast. You can read that in Revelation 13:11 on down to 16, which I read. All right? It says this growth is driven by technological advancement, convenience, and the need for enhanced security for applications like personal identification, which ties into what? The digital ID, digital identification system that is global, by the way. So personal identification, medical monitoring, and financial transactions. What? Buying and selling. So can you use the implant for buying and selling? Financial transactions? Yes. Key challenges include privacy and security concerns, ethical considerations, and a lack of standardization. But that's why once they get this digital ID system set up around the world, then the standardization, the right laws and certain things can be put in place, so that will key into whatever problems that they are running into. Which, regardless, because of the fact that it's Bible prophecy, no matter what issues they run into, the Bible says that these things have to take place. All right, the mark has to be introduced to fulfill that prophecy, which the mark, once again, is the biometric implants. Okay? Right, so I went to this here, Yahoo Finance, right? This is an actual reputable news source, Yahoo Finance. And let's see what it says. Okay? Global human, right, Microc-Hip market size to worth US dollars 2.56 billion by 2033, a growth of 6.07%. So let's read this. It says the global human microchipping market size was valued at $1.42 billion in 2023, and the worldwide human Microc-Hip market size is expected to reach, and I've read this, 2.56 billion by 2033, according to a research report published by Spherical Insights. All right, Spherical Insights and Consulting. Companies covered: Biohacks International, AB. These are all your different companies that are dealing with these implants. Biohacks International, AB, the Verichip Corporation, 3 Square Market. Now, if you remember about 3 Square Market, 2017, okay, let me just give you an example, right? Let's deal with 3 Square Market. All of you Israelites should be familiar with this, all right? Everybody actually should, not just Israelites, but you should be familiar with 3 Square Market and what they're known for. Here we go. This is from CNBC. Why most of 3 Square Market's employees jumped at the chance to wear a Microc-Hip. Let's look this up real quick. This is from CNBC, another reputable news source. And I believe this should go back, yep, to 2017. Published Sunday, August 13, 2017 at 9 a.m. 50 of the 80 employees at 3 Square Market, a provider of self-service break room vending machines. What do you do with vending machines? Do you not purchase items, buy items from the vending machine? Whether it be a bag of chips, some cookies, or a soda, or a bottle of water? Okay, I hope you Israelites outside of GMS, if you watch this video, whether it be the IUIC, IGPK, HOI, whoever else, you should be getting you're getting a crash course on real time events of prophecy being fulfilled. This is the information that is coming out to back up what we say here at GMS. It says they voluntarily agreed to be chipped. It really doesn't hurt at all, CEO Todd Westby told CNBC. Well, we know that according to Revelation, the 16th chapter, it says that those that take the mark, which is this implant, will receive a grievous sore, which is tied into radiation poisoning and cancer. Because any foreign object you put in your body is detrimental to you and your health. It says a future version, so they plan on developing even more versions of this. A future version of the Microc-Hip could include GPS. Isn't that what Bishop Nathaniel said about it? You can, put it in cats and dogs, and it's a GPS system. Well, that's been around for decades now, but you can do more with it. Just as computers 20 years ago have now gone from on a desktop to in your pocket. Smartphones weren't around, all right, on a global scale back in 2004, all right, when they started to really put microchips in cats and dogs. 2005. They even test ran it in humans back then. But you can do more than just GPS now. Now you can use it for buying and selling. So it says a future version of the Microc-Hip, and you got to speak in code, could include GPS, and if an employee leaves the company, it won't be removed. Yeah, because it's going to be a needful device to have in your person, not on your person, not like a wallet or a phone, but in your body. You can use it at other jobs. So this happened back in 2017. It says at the 3 Square Market workplace, the device allows door access to enter the building, sign into their computer, and pay, that's buying something, right? And pay for snacks. All with a wave of their hand, because the implant goes in your hand, right? On a sensor. It replaces passwords, ID badges, and even credit cards. What do you use a credit card for? Buying and selling, right? So there's a market, a growing market for this technology. Okay, so I just want to give you some info on 3 Square Market, right? So another company is Dangerous Things, LLC, which that was one of the more famous implant companies back. I believe Dangerous Things started in 2005. Let me look this up. Because, hey, I know this. All right, let's see. Dangerous Things. I was looking for LLC. Let me search the web here. Dangerous Things. Biohacking is the next phase of human evolution. Human augmentation with Microc-Hip implants is just the first step, but an important one. And you see that the name of it is Dangerous Things because that's an omen telling you about the coming mark. Okay? Okay, right. Okay, let me read this here. I am CEO of human microchip implant biohacking companies, Dangerous Things. My name is Amal Grafstra. I put my first RFID transponder Microc-Hip implant into my left hand in 2005, and he's from Europe, so they do a lot of things opposite of what we do in America, like drive on the right hand side. We have the driver's side here in America on the left hand side, and other things like that. But the point is, he put the device in his hand, and that was when 2005. Because if you've been tied in and if you've been watching this technology and you understand the prophecy of the mark, then you know that this ties into it. Okay? So that's Dangerous Things, LLC, McAfee Corp. Now, if you own Windows, then you know McAfee ties into the, I believe, the antivirus system. Let me look this up. Right. McAfee AI power antivirus, scam, identity, and privacy protection. And I believe the owner, the namesake of it, I believe he died some years back, if I'm correct. Let me look that up. See, this is what we do. We get the facts. Okay. The company was purchased by Intel in 2011. McAfee Corp. So it deals with antivirus and computers. And I believe John McAfee, that's his name. Yep, he died in 2021. John David McAfee was a British and American computer programmer. In 1987, he wrote the first commercial antivirus software, including McAfee Associates, to sell his creation. Yeah, and this was him. Okay? So, you get on your computers, your Windows, or back then they had the Gateway computers and the Dell computers, and the number one antivirus software was McAfee. Well, that company is now tied into the microchip implant market. Okay? I'm just giving you the facts here. So it says Kaspersky Lab, ARM Holdings PLC, Symantec Corporation, Texas Instruments Inc. This is where your calculators, remember the calculators in school? Now we got smartphones and tablets, but when you were in schools, the biggest market for Texas Instruments goes back to these calculators. Okay? Texas Instruments Inc. has been making progress possible for decades. Our products, not sure they still do calculators, but calculators from Texas Instruments was big back in the day. As a matter of fact, let me put this in. Okay, Texas Instruments. Texas Instruments, okay. Graphing calculators. Right, Texas Instruments and calculators. Right, TI products, calculators, graphing calculators, computer software, technology, navigator system, scientific calculators. So all of these American companies are tied into this implant technology. It says NXP Semiconductors, NV, and other key vendors. And look at this. So this is the chart. This is 2023. In the next 10 years, it's to grow almost double. Okay? A whole nother building. And it's just going to continue to grow. So there's definitely money. Okay? There's definitely money in putting these implants in the bodies of humans. Okay? So if you're thinking that the elites of Esau, if they don't have a hand in pushing this out there, and if there's not any goal behind it, then you're sadly mistaken. Okay? Let me do this. Let me look up the digital ID. Let's look up the global, because there's also a market, money to be made with digital ID. Check this out. The global digital identity market is rapidly expanding, with some reports valuing it at around 40 billion US dollars in 2024 and projecting it to grow to over 168 billion by 2032. This growth is driven by the increased digitalization of services, rising security threats, and the adoption of technologies like biometrics, blockchain, and AI. And believe that's going to be all tied into the implant. So let's see, the global digital ID market and human microchip implants. The global digital identity solutions market is a large, rapidly growing sector focused on online verification and authentication, which we read the market grows to about 133 billion by 2030. The human Microc-Hip implant market is smaller, niche segment projected to grow 3.5 billion by 2030. What country is putting microchips in humans? Sweden. Yep, Sweden is the country where thousands of people have voluntarily implanted microchips in their hands. Not a country mandating it, right? It's not mandated right now. That's why we know that the technology is here, but we're just waiting for everyone to be caused to get it, pursuant to Revelation 13 and 16. It says this is a niche and voluntary trend, with chips being used to replace everyday items like keys, ID cards, and train tickets. Companies like Biohacks International, which we read in the Yahoo Finance article, companies like Biohacks International have promoted these implants through events, and the trend has sparked a wider conversation about the convenience and privacy implications of such technology. A lot of stuff we already know. So let's do this. Let's look up global digital ID and human microchip implants. All right, or let's just look up digital ID. All right, let's make it a lot easier. Digital IDs are virtual identities. Digital IDs are virtual identities that can be stored on devices, while human microchip implants are physical devices, right, like the mark, implanted under the skin to act as a digital ID. This is what I wanted. Okay, the implant under the skin will act as your digital ID in the future. That's what is being said in Revelation the 13th chapter. Okay, this is what we're coming into. Okay, all right. You see all these different images and these technologies. This is the future. This is the mark right here. This is the MOTB. Okay? So there's real information, there's real articles, there's real projections and charts and graphs and growth projections behind human biometric Microc-Hip implants. Okay? So let me go back. Here we go. Can human microchip implants work with digital ID? Can human microchip implants work with digital ID? Yes. Yes. Human microchip implants can work with digital IDs by storing and transmitting unique identification information. These implants use RFID technology to link to databases containing personal data, allowing for digital verification and secure logins, and access to services like public transport, payments, and even medical records. Okay, this is the article here. The microchip implants that let you pay with your hand. This is from BBC News. It's going back to what? April 2022. April 10th, 2022. And you see this woman? I brought this image up in many different videos and articles over the years. Here's a woman using her right hand for buying and selling at a payment terminal. She's not swiping a card. She's not tapping a smartphone. There's no wristband. There's no smartwatch. All right. There's no chip card. There's no EBT card. No, she's using her right hand for buying and selling. Okay? Look at this. That's the left hand. Because it doesn't matter what hand you use. Okay? Look at this. Under the skin. This is an implant. An x-ray showing a wallet more implant, which I've spoken about wallet more in previous videos, which are injected into a person's hand after a local anesthetic. So this is the mark here. This is the mark. This is what the MOTB is going to, to look like. And they can keep making the actual physical implant a lot smaller. Okay? But yeah, so now you can clearly see that GMS is right. The only thing that we're doing when we talk about these other camps is we're just giving you the information and we're showing you how you're wrong and how it correlates to prophecy. We're going to the language. We give you the articles. We give you real world events and scenarios, and we break it down to you so easy that a baby can understand it. Okay? So easy a caveman can get it. You know? So I just wanted to go into that, this whole thing with this market. Okay, this growing market of human implants. The leaks are going to push this heavy real soon. So even though we're seeing the digital ID system being set up now, it's going to lead to the eventually it's going to lead to the implants being put under your skin. It says, can human microchip implants work with digital ID? Yes. So There you go. And there you have it. There you got it. There you got it. There you have it. There it go. Hey, so I hope you were edified. All praises goes to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Microc-Hip. Shalom.